All right, let's just dive right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking the ultimate step-by-step playbook for non-technical founders who want to build low-cost AI products. Seriously, if you've been sitting on the sidelines, kind of thinking, oh, I need to be some expert coder to start an AI business, well, this is going to completely flip your perspective. We've pulled the exact steps straight from top founders and venture capital trends to give you a real actionable roadmap. And we're starting with a massive sense of urgency here. 12 months. According to a recent AI 2027 forecast by a former OpenAI researcher, that might literally be the only window you have left to build wealth before AGI. Artificial general intelligence completely reshapes society. The source material points out this could be a bigger shift than the Industrial Revolution. I mean, we're talking about top venture funds pouring $160 billion into AI startups in just the last 18 months. The window is wide open right now, but it's closing fast.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the urgency hook, monetizing GPT wrappers, eliminating manual bottlenecks, building niche AI tutors, scaling for the long term, and finally, your testing schedule. Let's get into it.
Starting off with Section 1, the urgency hub. Look, the reality is early movers capture almost all the wealth. Waiting around basically just means you'll be too late. The real opportunities right now belong to fast-moving entrepreneurs who spot gaps and build tools that people actually need. You don't need some massive research lab or billions in funding to start because the tech giants haven't locked in all the opportunities yet. Why? Because they aren't looking at the specific everyday problems that you experience. So speed and focus, those are your absolute biggest advantages.
Moving right along to Section 2, monetizing GPT wrappers. Think of large language models, or LLMs, as raw electricity. Over 100 years ago, when we discovered electricity, nobody just went out and bought raw electricity, right? No. They bought a toaster. They bought a kettle. You monetize the raw power of an LLM by channeling it into a specialized application. People might brush off your idea and say, oh, it's just a wrapper. But honestly, harnessing that raw power into a user experience that perfectly solves a specific problem, exactly like a toaster making perfect toast, that is exactly how standalone businesses are built today.
So how do you actually monetize these wrappers? Well, you combine three distinct elements. First, you capture specific user data that standard ChatGPT just doesn't have. Second, you apply deeply specialized prompts based on your own unique expertise. And third, this is crucial, you design a superior, completely frictionless user experience. Just look at the app Cal AI. It was built by a non-technical 18-year-old founder using a simple MVP. It literally just lets users snap photos of their meals to estimate calories. By applying these three rules, that simple wrapper was downloaded over 8 million times and is projected to generate $30 million this year. It's wild, but it just proves it's all about solving a real problem faster and better.
Which brings us to Section 3, eliminating manual bottlenecks.
Okay, if you want to build a truly effective AI employee, your absolute most vital first step is picking a specific industry. Think real estate, restaurants, e-commerce. That's your gold mine. Once you've got your industry, apply these three criteria. Look for repetitive daily tasks, highly manual operations, like, say, sending out document signatures, and tasks with massive scalable volume potential. Seriously, so many old-school brick-and-mortar businesses are totally disconnected from the AI bubble right now. If you can build a no-code tool that eliminates these specific bottlenecks, you suddenly become incredibly valuable to them. And this is exactly what the Startup Wise did. 10x. That massive number represents their leap in efficiency. By eliminating manual client service tasks, they went from 160 employees down to closer to 40, while managing vastly more accounts. They achieved 10x better metrics, which is just an absolute game changer. How'd they do it? They asked their team to focus on a single job, figuring out how to automate and eliminate their own manual roles. Pretty brilliant, right?
Let's shift gears to Section 4, building niche AI tutors.
Education is being entirely reshaped by adaptive tutors right now. To create a highly profitable AI tutor, you need a really strict lesson plan. Step 1, pick a highly specific niche. We're talking TOEFL prep or maybe even quantum mechanics. Step 2, program the AI to track the student's unique weak points. Step 3, make it adjust the lesson plan dynamically on the fly so it becomes this infinitely patient coach. And finally, Step 4, validate the outputs with human teachers on the back end just to ensure high quality. Students are absolutely willing to pay for this because it feels exactly like having a private 24/7 coach in their pocket. But you might be wondering, how do you actually pick that niche?
Well, Aravind Srinivas, the founder of Perplexity, a company that basically went from zero to a $20 billion valuation in just 3 years, has the secret to surviving the inevitable tough days of building a startup. He says the only thing you can truly bet on is whether you are absolutely obsessed with a topic. You must choose an industry or a topic that you are completely obsessively passionate about. If you build a tool for a problem you deeply care about, that obsession is going to push you through pretty much any hurdle.
All right, section 5, scaling for the long term.
Understanding the end goal is really what drives this entire playbook. Let's look at this through the lens of legendary entrepreneur Reid Hoffman. His vision for AI in healthcare is basically the ultimate blueprint for scalable businesses across any sector. He visualizes a medical assistant right on your smartphone that's actually better than your average doctor, available 24/7 and runs on compute costs of just a couple of dollars an hour. So while you might start today with a super simple, low-cost MVP, like a non-medical sleep diary extension or a Telegram nutrition bot, this level of infinite, high-quality, continuous availability is what you are ultimately scaling toward.
Let's actually break down the math here. When you look at traditional human scaling, costs are sky high and availability is strictly shift-based. But with AI scaling, your cost plummets to literally pennies an hour, and availability hits 24/7, continuous operation. Your focus completely shifts from managing a generalist employee to deploying a highly specialized, data-driven agent. Building tools that operate infinitely for minimal compute costs, that is the true long-term objective of your AI business.
And finally, section 6, the testing schedule. Okay, you've got the theory. Now you have to implement this strict testing schedule to actually execute. Step 1, build a low-cost MVP. Use a Telegram bot, hook up a Google Sheet to an API, or just use a simple no-code tool. Step 2, identify your highly specific target group. Step 3, and listen, this is the magic metric, so do not skip it. Test with exactly 10 real users every single week. Not just your friends, but real people facing the actual problem. This is the secret to not wasting your time. And step 4, iterate based on their immediate feedback. Start small, focus tightly, and test constantly. The door is literally wide open right now. You don't need a massive team. You don't even need to know how to code. You just need the courage to act on a specific bottleneck and wrap a great user experience around the raw power of AI. With the barrier to entry lower than it has ever been and a 12-month window potentially closing on the greatest wealth-building opportunity of our lifetime, so what's it going to be? Will you just watch the AI gold rush happen from the sidelines, or will you launch your MVP this week?